In this podcast episode, Rob Dial explores the critical role discipline plays in personal development and success. The conversation delves into how to build habits, cultivate willpower, and align with passion to consistently achieve long-term goals. The discussion also highlights practical strategies to overcome fear and self-doubt, the science behind willpower, and the importance of focusing on one priority at a time to maximize growth and fulfillment. Rob challenges the traditional negative connotation of discipline, often associated with punishment, and instead reframes it as an act of self-love. Discipline is necessary only when pursuing actions beneficial for oneself, such as waking up early, exercising, or growing a business. Conversely, behaviors that detract from well-being, like sleeping in or poor eating, require no discipline. He emphasizes developing a healthier relationship with discipline by understanding it as a commitment to future self rather than a form of self-punishment. Rob explains the role of the anterior cingulate cortex, a brain region associated with willpower and discipline, and how it can be developed like a muscle. Studies show professional athletes have a larger and more active anterior cingulate cortex due to consistent training and pushing beyond comfort zones. This implies that individuals with little willpower can strengthen their self-discipline by regularly engaging in challenging but positive habits, which in turn leads to physical and mental growth. A major obstacle to discipline is the human tendency to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. Rob stresses the importance of consciously choosing discomfort when it aligns with one's goals. Success is rarely about taking the easy path. Rather, it requires doing what one may not want to do, but knowing it leads to a better future. The ability to choose discomfort consistently is framed as the essence of discipline. To help build consistency, Rob introduces the idea of shrinking the start, which means making the beginning of a habit as easy and accessible as possible. Examples include placing workout clothes next to the sink or using an automatic coffee maker. He also highlights the power of designing an environment that reduces the need for willpower, such as removing tempting unhealthy snacks from one's home or keeping distracting devices out of reach during work sessions. Rob and his co-host discuss the challenge many face in discovering passion and purpose. They debunk the myth that purpose must be found immediately, be lifelong, or be tied directly to income. Instead, they advocate for a hummingbird approach, exploring interests over time, following what feels right for a season, and collecting skills that eventually align to form a clearer sense of purpose. This perspective reduces pressure and increases receptivity to evolving passions. Fear, often rooted in past pain and experiences, can hold people back from pursuing what they want, such as starting a podcast or putting themselves out there. Rob suggests identifying the fear's origin in past trauma and using exposure, doing the feared action repeatedly, as a form of therapy to diminish its power. Recognizing that the fear is a mental story designed to protect but no longer serving is crucial to moving forward. The conversation addresses the frustration many feel when initial efforts do not yield immediate recognition or results. Rob advises that success seldom arrives quickly, and consistency over years is the key factor. Rather than being discouraged by lack of likes or views, individuals should focus on the intrinsic value of their work and the fact that they are positively impacting others, even if unseen. While passion is important, Rob stresses that competence, the development of skills through persistent practice, is equally vital. He shares how he and his co-host pursued their respective crafts, podcasting, acting, music, with passion, but also committed to long-term, steady improvement. The 10,000-hour rule is discussed as a benchmark for mastery through sustained effort rather than raw talent. Rob emphasizes that perfection is not required, and occasional setbacks or falling off do not equate to failure. What matters is how one responds to those moments, whether with self-criticism or self-compassion. Using setbacks as data to adjust and improve is a healthier approach. He also clarifies that consistency is not uniform. Efforts will ebb and flow, but overall persistence over months and years leads to lasting change. An effective strategy for sustained discipline is shaping one's environment so that it supports desired behaviors and reduces temptation. Rob explains that successful people often minimize their reliance on willpower by structuring their surroundings in ways that make good habits the default choice, such as keeping unhealthy foods out of the home or removing distractions while working. Both speakers advocate for prioritizing one key habit or goal for a set period, such as 100 days, rather than trying to improve multiple areas simultaneously. This single-minded focus respects human limitations, prevents burnout, and allows for deeper mastery. The metaphor of nature's seasons illustrates how life success requires phases of growth, focus, rest, and renewal, rather than trying to excel at all things simultaneously. Rob critiques the culture of rapid consumption, such as reading a book a week, arguing that depth of understanding and application far outweighs breadth. He encourages listeners to engage deeply with one impactful book or skill at a time to allow real transformation to take root, rather than superficially skimming many topics without integration. Traditional result-based goals, e.g., losing 40 pounds, can feel distant and discouraging. Rob recommends breaking goals down into daily action-based steps that, when completed, are celebrated to trigger dopamine release in the brain. This creates a positive feedback loop, making the process more enjoyable and sustainable. Celebrating small wins strengthens motivation far more than fixating on distant outcomes. The episode closes with reflections on mindset, how shifting perspectives can alter one's experience of reality. Seeing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles changes how one responds emotionally and behaviorally. The conversation stresses that while we cannot control external circumstances, we can control our reactions, which shapes our overall quality of life. Both guests describe how their drive and work ethic are fueled by gratitude for life, opportunity, and growth. This gratitude reframes hard work as a form of service and a way to honor the gift of existence. Maintaining a mindset of day one in any endeavor fosters humility and continuous progress, which they consider essential to long-term success and fulfillment.